All right, so active inventory in Charlotte County dropped again, 27% year over year. So this is a market where the buyers were calling the shots about 12 months ago, and we're looking at that window starting to close in pretty fast. So for you guys watching from New York, Jersey, or the Illinois area, and you're thinking about making a move out to Southwest Florida, what I'm about to show you in these numbers will actually matter to you. Hey guys, I'm Eugene Fulton. I'm a realtor down here in Southwest Florida. I'm a real estate agent here in Southwest Florida. I specialize helping buyers from out of state relocate to the Charlotte County and Sarasota County area. So every month I do a breakdown from the actual MLS data so you can tell exactly what's going on and what's happening here so that you're not reading what's in the headlines. Make sure you please subscribe and like the video. That way you can always get notifications when I drop these market updates if this is something that is useful. So just like with any other market update I've done, we always cover the four things. We're going to check out the supply and see what's available out there, what the prices actually look like right now, how fast the market is moving, what that all means for you if you plan on relocating from out of the state. So now let's get into these numbers. All right, so now let's check out the inventory because that's the number that tells you where the market's going and who has the leverage right now. So much like last month, Charlotte County still has over 27 single family homes that are currently actively listed. So I know that sounds like a lot, but it's also down 27% from where we were that same time a year ago, just like last month as well. Still over at that time last year, over 3,800 homes were on the market. So that's about 1,000 home options less within 12 months. So at that current pace of sales, the inventory is sitting just shy into 6 months. Now, a balanced market is where the buyers nor the sellers have the clear edge and it's equal footing. That's typically around 5.5 months of inventory. So we are hovering right on that line. But as you can see, that trend is clearly moving towards the seller. So about a year ago, the months of supply was sitting just under 9 months. So you're looking at a 34% drop in just 1 year. The new listings are also coming in a bit slower as well. There's only about 609 homes that have hit the market in May. That's 9% fewer than May of the last year. So it's the same situation. Sellers aren't ready to hit the market, which means inventory compression isn't going to reverse quickly on its own. And the reason why, as always, is interest rates. If you're sitting on great interest rates, they are not ready to sell just yet. So the bottom line is you still have choices. There's just fewer available, and always well-priced homes move fast. So as we get into the median sales price for Charlotte County for May 2026, sitting around $351,000. It's up about 8% from May of last year when the median was just $325,000. It's a pretty meaningful increase, especially when you consider that those prices were actually softening through most of 2025. So the gap between the median and the average sales price is worth noting because the average is stiffening. So when the average is significantly above your median home price, it usually means that the luxury end of the market is very active. And also something buyers should also pay attention to as well. The median list to sale ratio is just under 94%. So on average, sellers around here are getting 94 cents on every dollar that they listed for, which is up 4% from about a year ago. So the buyers can still negotiate a bit, but you're rarely paying full list price. But I can tell you, but as you can see, that cushion is starting to get a lot smaller. Also worth noting, 45% of all the closed sales in May were cash purchases. That is up pretty good from last year. So cash buyers tend to be your retirees, investors, and relocation buyers who've already sold their home up north. Now that may be relevant for you guys coming in with financing. You're going to be competing with people who can close in 2 to 3 weeks with no contingencies on the contract. So how fast is the market moving? Well, the median time to contract, that means how long the home sits before a buyer puts it under contract, is 54 days. Starting to go down 25. That is down 25% from a year ago when it was 72 days. So the homes are going under contract nearly 3 weeks faster than they were in 2025. So the median time to sell is 96 days, which means that is from when the house is listed to when it is closed out. That's also down 12% from last year. So closed sales in May end up being 562, which is up just under 5% year over year. And year to date, were up about 11% over the same period in 2025. So pending sales, the forward-looking indicator, is coming in at 546, which is up just over 1%. It's a bit more it's a bit of a modest gain, but it's still positive momentum, which tells you that the market is not sitting still. So that should tell you that the homes that are priced right aren't sitting on the market. So the overall pace of sales is up compared to last year, something very important to note. So now what does this all mean for you? Especially if you're planning to move out here from New York, New Jersey, or the Illinois area. This is not, so I will say this is not a market where you can take months to decide and expect the same options to be there. Inventory is starting to shrink. Even though it is slow, prices are starting to rise and homes are moving faster than they were. So that's not hype. That's 12 months of data backing that up. But you're also not in a panic situation either. At 6 months of supply, you still have plenty of negotiating room if you're considering buying. On average, you're still getting about 6% below the list price. So that's real money saved on a $350,000 house. The difference from a year ago isn't that buyers have lost leverage, it's that they're losing it slowly. So what I tell any relocation buyer right now, if you're thinking about doing it, make sure you're getting your financing lined up before you come down here to look, not after. You always want to do it before. Have that pre-approval letter in hand. That changes the conversation completely, especially when you're competing against a cash buyer. And if you're serious about moving in the next 90 to 100 days, I would say now is probably a reasonable time to start actively looking. And it's not because the market is getting ready to explode, but it is because of the direction of the inventory, and the pricing suggests that waiting has a cost to it. Also, you probably want to pay attention to the pricing band where you're shopping at. So if you're in the $200,000, $300,000 range, the sales are actually down compared to last year. So entry level supply is starting to tighten up. And if that is your range, you're probably going to move faster when something right comes up for you. So if you're in that $400,000 to $500,000 range, the sales are up 36% year over year. So that momentum is moving. When it comes to Charlotte County, we're talking about Punta Inglewood, and Port Charlotte, you still have real value compared to that same money what gets you in coastal Sarasota. So that's a real trade-off worth understanding before you commit to a search area. And if you want some help making sense of what this market looks like for your specific situation, what your budget is and timeline, and where you're coming from, that's exactly what me and my team do every day. The link is in the description, and it has my free Southwest Florida relocation guide. And there's also a link to book a no pressure intro call with me directly. Hopefully this information was useful to you. If it was, please subscribe. I drop market updates every month for Charlotte and Sarasota County, so you always know what's actually happening out here before you make a decision. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.